Welcome to the Ravelution podcast. This is the Southern Utah DJ series, and as you can see, we are in a new studio right now that is being provided to us by the one and only Hi-Bryd. What's up, bro?
What up, man? How you doing? How's everybody doing? Hey, thank you for taking me on, bro. Thank you for taking the opportunity.
Yeah, dude. No, I'm stoked, man. I've been really stoked, honestly, since I first met you. Because you have so much passion, man. You have so much passion around EDM, in particular hardstyle, which is what you play, right?
The hardstyle is my genre. Hardstyle could be like the genre, but we have subgenres. You know, we have raw style, we have hardcore, we have up-tempo, we have euphoric, we have what is a hybrid. It's called rawphoric, which is raw style and euphoric mixed together. You know, the melodies, the melodic beats with raw style kicks.
Yeah.
This is what defines hybrid.
Yeah, it's so cool to me because I feel like every time I meet somebody that's really into hardstyle as a genre, like overarching genre, they know so much about all the subgenres that exist in that, you know? And I feel like the hardstyle community is like a really passionate group of individuals.
We are. We get mistakenly, our passion can take us overboard to other things, you know. It's like everything, man. I don't know. It's just you just gotta give it the time of day.
Okay, right on. So we're in St. George, Utah right now. Like we've been the whole time, just switching studios around. Have you always lived in St. George?
You know what? I grew up in El Paso, Texas, and I lived there up until I was 18. And I grew up in the suburbs, like in the ghetto. I can honestly say I grew up in the ghetto.
Okay.
It was gangbanging. It was lowriding. It was rap music, and that was the culture. You know, the Chicano culture.
Yeah.
That was my upbringing.
Right on.
You know, I left the hood in 1999. You know, I was gonna be a dad, and I grew up and I moved to Colorado. I was 18 years old in 1999, and you know, I've always been the type of person that can take everything on, and I did. You know, I was gonna be a young dad at 18, and I was ready. I didn't know what I was ready for, but I knew that I was going to grab the bull by its horns and I was going to ride it.
Dang. Okay, so 18, going to be a father, move out to Colorado. Were you listening to hardstyle at that point?
Dude, hardstyle was non-existent at that time.
Okay. Yeah, you didn't even know it was a thing.
You know what? Actually, if you really, really think about it and you go back into the history,
yeah,
hardstyle wasn't born until like 1998. 99.
Okay, yeah.
So
tell me more.
Hardstyle was non-existent. Hardstyle was born from techno.
Okay.
And I don't know if anybody that's out there knows about Techno Boy, but Techno Boy was a techno guy, and that's why he's got his name, Techno Boy. Techno Boy and a bunch of his friends started messing with beats and drum kits and, you know, doing different things, and that's how hardstyle was born. They created hardstyle. They were one of the few pioneers of the hardstyle revolution.
Dang, that's cool, man. I love that history. Yeah. So you were not listening to hardstyle when you were out in Colorado. What were you listening to? Mostly like rap?
I was listening to hip hop, everything that was hip hop, rap. I'm a Latino, so my upbringing was around Latino music. You know, like corridos, like música ranchera, música regional, mexicana, you know, all that stuff. That was my upbringing. So I grew up around that stuff, you know, cumbias, you know, stuff like that. Like, so all that stuff lives in me, you know, and that's who I have been when I was growing up. Like, hardstyle did not come until way later in my life.
Yeah. Okay. So you're listening to a lot of like Latin influence, like music and rap and all of that. Who were some of your favorite artists back then?
Back in the day when I was growing up, one of my favorites, which everybody in my family cursed because they all say bad words, but was the NWA.
Yeah.
And Dr. Dre, Corrupt, Snoop Dogg, Warren G.
The classics,
You
huh?
know, all the, you know, and then Eminem came later.
Yeah.
But I grew up with like Dr. Dre and Eazy-E. If anybody knows about Eazy-E, you know, NWA, you know, and all those guys, like that's what Outlaw Cool J. If anybody knows Outlaw Cool J,
Yeah.
like I grew up in
So
that
it's like
era.
West Coast, a lot of West,
West
Coast,
Coast,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, that's tight, dude. I like the West Coast shit. The
Yeah.
West Coast shit's cool, and a lot of stuff you're naming is like real classic,
Classic.
real classic.
Yes.
And that was you were saying that was what was that in the '90s? You were listening to that?
Oh, dude, yeah, it was in the 90s. My upbringing back in the neighborhood and everything, my upbringing was as a Latino, as a Chicano.
Okay.
If anybody knows what a Chicano,
Oh,
I'm gonna very briefly tell you what
Yeah.
it is. Chicano is an American Mexican that was born from Mexican or from Latino parents that immigrated to the United States, and us as we were born here, and we are Chicanos because we are Mexican Americans.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what a Chicano is.
So it has a lot to do with like Mexican pride, but also with, like the pride of being born in the United States and like being in between like those two worlds, kind of, huh?
Yeah, well, a Chicano is a Mexican American.
Yeah.
Is defined. That's what it is. Was a Chicano, a
Okay.
Mexican American.
Cool.
And I was very blessed to be born in that culture, in
Yeah.
that era, in that. Like I actually look at everything that back in the 90s, and now that I'm gonna tell everybody on live camera right now, I'm 44 years old.
Hell yeah.
So
Fuck yeah.
I have been, you know, at that time I was really young, and I have been around the park a lot, and you know, like I have been low riding, and I've been cruising around the block in 3 wheels.
Yeah. So okay, wait. So you've been in a lowrider before?
I have owned many lowriders.
You've owned
Eh,
many lowriders.
I've owned many lowriders.
Okay.
That is my culture, and a lot of people that meet me, they're like, gangster rap, hardstyle, they just don't go together. What? I'm a hybrid.
He's a hybrid. He's a low riding, hard style playing hybrid, bro. That's a really good summarization of like of you. I feel like that's tight, dude. Listening to hard style and the low rider.
Call me
You
weird.
get-
I have done that plenty of times.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, dude. That's
I
dope.
have done that plenty of times.
That's dope, dude. That's so sick. I've never been in a low rider before.
Oh, you will someday. Someday.
Yeah.
God may bless us with time and money and friendship, and we will. 'Cause
And
I
low
got a
riders.
project that I'm working on that is so, like, I have never left. You know, I never leave my roots. Like, you can never leave. It's like a tree. You're part of the tree. Your tree branches out and you different things. Like, you're not, but the tree is the tree. The roots never, you know. And now that I'm going back, like right now at the time where I have been. I don't want to forward the interview more than I have to, but I have been in the hardstyle community for a little while now.
Yeah. So when did you start? When did you find hardstyle? What was
Okay.
that? What happened there?
So that's where we get into the forward in the story. In 2015, I've been married for a long time. I'm married to my beautiful wife in 2008, and we've been married ever since, and we've been going through a lot and up and downs, you know, just like everybody else does. But ever since that, I've been growing into different things, you know. And I was going through like the rap thing and going through a lot of things, and then my wife was like, "Hey, it's gonna be our anniversary." My little brother-in-law, is the one that got me into hardstyle. My little brother-in-law, he's been, I think he's been going to EDC since like, I want to say 2012, 2013. And I lived in Vegas at the time. And he used to always come, "Hey, can I stay at your house?" And I would let him stay at the house, you know, like nothing. I'm going to EDC. I never really thought of EDC. Like, what is that? I don't care about that.
yeah.
So I always blew it off and everything. But in 2015, it was gonna be my anniversary, and my wife said, "Hey, it's gonna be our anniversary. You want to go to a rave?" I said, "Hey, yeah, let's go. Let's try it." So I started listening to a few of the hardstyle DJs, which one of them was Showtech, Psychopunks, Code Black, Wasted Penguins. Those were to name a few. Those were like kind of like the early hardstyle acts that I have encountered at first. You know, so I got ready to go to that show. Like I wasn't gonna go to that show and be like. So I was listening to hardstyle. I was like, well, I want to listen to a music and go out there and be like, I'm part of what's going on.
Yeah.
You know. So we went to the show, dude. I fell in love with hardstyle.
Yeah.
That was it.
So you got invited, and your wife was like, "Hey, let's go do something for our anniversary." And so you started immersing yourself in the music and the culture, so that you were ready for it, and it just hit you, huh? It just took you.
It took me. The only thing that was different is you're never prepared to go and see some of the things that go on at these shows. I'm talking about some kids overdo it, and you just look at them and you're just like, "Can I help you? This is not what I came for, but I will gladly help you." You know. And that's just the thing, you know, some kids overdo it. They just don't know what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah.
And I was already a grown man. So for me to go in there and see,
Yeah.
like, I have children, like, my kids are grown. So to go to one of those shows and see one of those kids going through something like that,
Yeah.
it was like, eye-opening. Like, I was never wanted to be a part of that in the scene,
Yeah.
you know? So that was not me in that scene.
Like you're talking about, like all the drug use and stuff like that.
Yeah,
huh?
stuff like that goes on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm nobody to judge anybody. You know, you do whatever you want to do, what makes you happy. But
Yeah.
to me, like going to one of the shows and seeing the lights, the lasers, and the music, and just being everything different. Because I had been to a Snoop Dogg concert,
Yeah.
and going to a hardstyle rave is way different.
Yeah.
And so when I was there, I was just like, I was kind of dumbfounded by it. But people will do what they want to do, you know. I don't know. That's just up to them.
Yeah,
You
bro.
know? But I like to bring, in 2015, like I said, I fell in love with hardstyle. And then my little brother-in-law, he had a mixer that he bought, and he wanted to do the mixing. And he brought the mixer over to my house, and he was like, "Oh, no, I'll let you borrow it." And I was like, "Why don't you play with it?" He's like, "I tried it, but it's too difficult. I can't get with it." So I bought the mixer from him. He was like, "You want to buy it?" I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll buy it." So I bought the mixer, and I started playing. And I told him, "We're gonna be some of the best DJs that there ever existed out there." And I didn't know what the buttons were for. I just started pressing the buttons, and he was like, "Yeah, it's cool, whatever." I played with that thing, dude, for years and years and years. I honestly could say I was I'm trying to look for the word. I don't want to put it down. But I can honestly say I was pretty bad at mixing.
Okay.
Like, I would cut the mixing out right at the climax.
Yeah.
Like right in the middle of the climax, I would be like, "Oh, this is a perfect time to just go into the next song."
Yeah, but that was the birth of you DJing, though, huh?
Exactly.
Was just you fucking
Yeah.
around and playing around on the shit.
But it happened. But it went for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Like
Of just mixing,
a lot
of
of
like
years.
with no.
Like, I would record the mixes and I would be like, "That's terrible," and my wife would be like, "That's terrible." So, but you know what? You live and you learn. And then, dude, 2022 rolls around, and one of my friends, we start mixing together, and he's like, "Hey, you know that every line that goes across that screen, every little red line and every white line means something." And I was like, "What line?" "Oh, the little lines." I was always the type of person that looks at the waveforms, not the little white or red lines on the top.
Yeah.
Well, those red lines and white lines mean a lot.
Yeah, they can definitely. And you're talking about the beat grid when you're talking
The
about
beat
that.
grid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They can. You know, I feel like for me, I ignore the beat grid a lot, and I look way more at the waveform than anything else. If I'm looking, you know, because I don't adjust my beat grids
Yeah.
ever. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, that was huge. That was huge for me too. Is when I learned what the beat grid was and how that all worked, and And did that, so he taught you, he's like, hey, this is what it works, this is what it is and how it works, and that kind of clicked for you, huh?
He's like, each one of those red lines, from red to red line, is one beat count. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like that, so on. So I was like, okay, started. He's like, you know and he told me, he's like, when hardstyle, when you get the songs, get the ones that have the extended mix.
Yeah.
Because in hardstyle, we have extended mix of 32 and 64 beats that gives you the opportunity to blend into the next song and make your transition more emphasize which track is coming in next, so people can hear a little snippet of what's coming, or even start to hear, the other track coming in, and then hearing that. In hardstyle, what we do a lot is explosions, impacts. Those transitions where you just hear that deep impact, or that you just hear this big explosion, and then you just hear like, wow, and then you hear the next song come in where there is some melody or a soft intro or whatever it is, and then you just like go into the next track and you're just like, wow.
That's dope. So you started learning music theory, you started learning how to use the different tools for the DJing and all of that, right? How long have you been DJing now?
I have been DJing, like I said, in 2016 is when I bought that mixer from him and I started DJing. But I can honestly say I was DJing just not actually like wanting to learn, but like just trying to do something, not knowing where it was gonna take me. I just bought a bunch of songs and put them on record box and started mixing them in and doing my thing. But in 2022 is when I was like, when he told me the beat count and I started to learn everything, and then I learned and I grasped, that's when I said, I want to be a DJ. And then along with that, I want to be a music producer.
Yeah.
And then I bought me a computer, I bought me some equipment, I bought me some stuff, and I had the stuff, and I already knew how to beat count, so I was putting mixes together. In 2023, in January, I announced I am coming out, I'm taking this career as a DJ and hopefully a music producer, and let's see where this takes us. I'm taking this project. That's when Hi-Bryd was born. In January of 2023 is when Hi-Bryd was born.
Yeah. So Hi-Bryd's about 3 years old now, is that right?
Hi-Bryd is about
3 years old?
2.5 years old.
2.5 years old now. Hell yeah.
And Hi-Bryd has been working really, really hard, and Hi-Bryd has been doing a lot of things behind the scenes that nobody really knows about. But I can honestly say, just recently, I put a mix together of the stuff that I have done, and it's a 45 minutes.
So 45 minutes of original content.
Not original content, originals and bootlegs and remixes that I have put my hands on.
Nice.
That nobody else can say I had my hands in it. Like, there's only one person in this world that can say I am the one behind his success. And I am not ready to bring that person out. We have been talking about it, but it's just one of those things, like I never knew how to be an artist, but to be an artist is like you gotta keep people in suspense. You just don't leave people, you just don't throw everything out there. You like me, I'm the type of person that puts a lot of stuff out there, but just because I put a lot of stuff out there doesn't mean that there's not a lot of stuff more.
Yeah. So you've had a lot of influences from different mentors. You've had like your DJing mentor, and it sounds like you have a production mentor as well. And it sounds like you're not ready to like talk about him in public or whatever.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So in 2023, like I said, I started my DJ career, and in January of 2023, I started my DJ career and a producer per se.
Yeah.
Because I had the equipment. I had samples, I had the equipment, I had FL Studio. FL Studio is where it's at. FL Studio, and I was ready to go. I just didn't know how to use the equipment. Like in 1999, I graduated from high school real quick. I graduated from high school, and I worked with my hands all the way up until 2022. So I had nothing to do with computers all that time. So it was like being a DJ and being a producer was like really, really far-fetched because I have no knowledge on even know how to use a computer.
Well, shoot, dude, I'm super excited because in this episode, everybody's going to get to see really how far you've come with the computer. Right now, we're using all of Jesus's equipment, all of his cameras. We're using his OBS studio. The only thing that's not his is these microphones, but that's really not that big of a contribution, to be honest. And you're going to see all these different things. There's going to be graphics that are going to be playing in the set today that you play, and things that are all going to come up, you know, seamlessly, and it's all because of the work that you've done on the freaking computer. So to go from not having like barely any knowledge of a computer to putting everything that I've seen you put together on OBS is fucking impressive.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. That actually means a lot to me because nobody knows the countless nights till 3, 4 in the morning working on that OBS and trying to figure it out and seeing the fruits of it after you figure it out.
Yeah, I feel the same way at fucking OBS, but like, and at the same time, like, I love OBS because it makes things easy, and it makes things, it's free. It's a free thing.
Shout out to OBS.
For real. Shout out to OBS Studio. I'll tag you this, maybe. Yeah, bro. So, I mean, it's wild to think that, like, just in just 3 years or 2.5 years, you've not only, like, put so much time into mixing that you've gone from, like, you know, just playing on a mixer to being able to actually mix tracks to actually, you know, creating your own tracks and, like, editing tracks and bootlegging and doing all of that. Like, the fact that that's all happened in 3 years is, like, really impressive when you've gone from, like, no knowledge of this to where you are today, which is actually incredibly knowledgeable.
I can honestly thank one person and one thing, if it's actually a thing, my mom, because when I was born and I was a young child, I was told that I had ADD, and I was told to take medication, and my mom said, no, he's a normal kid, I'm gonna let him be a normal kid, and that was it. And I think she actually messed me up. But it actually helped me out with this because I am ADD to the max and OCD to the max, and it's one of those double-sided knives. It can help you, but it can actually stab you. So I don't know. I'm just going with the flow.
I think it's really cool to see because it's like when you set your mind to something, like you really just get it done. Like, you know, we're in the studio right now. The studio's in a garage, right? And I mean, this was a garage before. It wasn't a studio. But if you look, you know, you look around with the lighting, and you guys are going to see the DJ booth and all of that other stuff. I mean, you've really turned this into a studio. So I think that one edge of that knife is the fact that, like, when you set your mind to something, you just get it done, man.
Well, one of the things that was really, really important to me, and you're actually enjoying, is we're in a garage, and it's cool.
It's way cooler than my garage. Sorry about that, Milgram, for real. But like when we shot in my garage with Milgram, dude, Milgram and I were sweating our asses off. We had a good time, but we were sweating our asses off, and I am comfortable as fuck right now because of the work that you put into this studio space right now. So you're going to be playing a set here in a few minutes. You're going to be putting a lot of originals and remixes in that?
I'm going to be putting a lot of originals. I'm going to go right back quick to where I was coming from. In 2023, about June, I was scrolling through Instagram, and I actually found this guy from Mexico. And he was putting something out there along the lines of, you can use your voice to make screeches in hardstyle. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I shoot him a direct message. I said, hey man, I'm barely starting. This is what I got. I shoot him a video of what I got here, and I would like to get somebody to help me help me put some tracks together. And he said, okay, yeah, this is how much I charge. This is how much it costs me to teach you, and this and that. I said, okay, you know, I think that I can work with that. So I hired him. This kid became my brother, the guy that put me, per se. I'm not out on the map yet, but I am actually, like, I think that I'm really, really close to, like, being out there because I have been working really, really, really hard. I think that what I need right now is like the what do they call it, the e-kit, the e-kit,
Press kit?
yeah, the press kit.
EPK?
Yeah, the EPK
Yeah.
is what I'm lacking, and I can't seem to find anybody to do that. But I think that as far as making music and doing the studio time and putting mixes together, I think that I put enough work into that where I can actually start submitting to companies and trying to get myself out there as an artist, because I really haven't been doing that.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Well, I can show you how to make an EPK, like real bootleg one, but like definitely make one for you. So, and you've played a couple of shows for Ravelution. How many shows have you played for Ravelution?
I played for Ravelution the very first show, and it was very good. You guys should go back and look at the footage. It was Midnight Muse.
Yeah.
That show was very good. All of the shows that Ravelution puts out have been really good. I mean, I give props for starting Ravelution and to see where you started and to see your image and where you're going, and to find people like me that are willing to contribute to it and make this thing bigger. I think that we're on the right path to exploding into something that's gonna be really good for everybody.
Legit, dude. And like Ravelution would not be a thing if it wasn't for people like you, if it wasn't for people like Ethan, and like Damien and D-Ray and Scuzzle and all those cats, like the majority of those guys that have been on my podcast. It all started with a lot of those guys just being on the podcast here, just finding out that they're a DJ, and I'm like, did you want to be on a podcast, bro? And then, I mean, they've been along for the whole rest of it since they've been on it, and it's really cool to see how it's evolved, and now being in the studio space with you, and having you wanting to be involved in making this podcast and like upping the production value with your skills is awesome, bro. It's so huge. Like I said, really, if it were just me, I'd be like in a fucking like basement with two 15-inch monitors and like fucking some really expensive decks, and that's it. But y'all make it what it is, and I love the community that's come up around it. It's beautiful. It's really fucking dope. That's probably been my favorite part about the whole thing.
That is, and you know what? I think that we're all blessed to have found each other.
Yeah, bro.
We're gonna up everything. I think that all of us in our community, like you say, Scuzzle, Ethan, Kim Cheese, you, me, Squid Idiot, all of us that contributing to actually putting and making Ravelution what it is. It's gonna grow. It's gonna be something that people look forward to come and seeing. It's gonna be something that, hey, when is the next episode coming out? When is the next show? When is like? I don't think that's gonna be even a question that people will have, because we are so busy trying to up what is next that we don't even give people the opportunity to even question themselves that, because we just got so much stuff going on. You got a lot of stuff going on. Scuzzle's making music, doing visuals. I'm over here making music, doing my YouTube videos. Everybody's just putting in their own part into what is it that they're doing to contribute to Ravelution, which is awesome. The community itself is growing, and I just I pray that it can prosper and it can grow to something that neither one of us ever expected.
Yeah, man. And wherever it goes, man, it's fucking fun doing it as it comes up anyway. I'm really digging it. So where can people find you on the internet and all that? Where can people find your music?
I'm on Instagram at Hi-Bryd Music. I'm on YouTube on Hi-Bryd Music as well. And I'm on SoundCloud, I think that's Hi-Bryd. But it's not very hard to find me. I am one of the type of persons that I am socially active, and I'm always putting stuff out there. So if you type my name, H-I, which is like you're high, like you climb the ladder way up high, / Bryd, B-R-Y-D. I spelled it backwards, and I actually put that hyphen in there so that it was separate, because Hi-Bryd, there was people out there with Hi-Bryd, the name, and I didn't want to have those problems where, hey, you're using my name, No, I just wanted. I looked and I looked deeply and I looked and I was Hi-Bryd. Trust me, Hi-Bryd was not one of my first names. You know, growing up, being in the lowrider community, and in the lowrider community, everybody knows me as Frog. So
Alright.
so I was thinking about going with something along
Yeah.
the line, but I was like, you know what? No, this is a different project. It's a whole different thing. I'm not trying to, even though they're gonna be interlaced together, I don't want them to be side by side together. You know,
Feel that.
you
Right
know?
on.
Like if I ever come to, if I ever get my project car done, my lowrider, and I'm coming down the street and I'm going to a Ravelution show, and I pull up to the Ravelution show on 3 wheels, you're probably the only car that you're ever gonna see around something like
Yeah.
that going on. So it'll be something that you're like, this just doesn't go together. You know what I'm saying?
I think it will. I think it will go
So,
together just well.
But, and that's what my wife says, just be who you are. So I just do what I do, and I am who I am.
Fuck yeah. So yeah, we can find you on Instagram and YouTube and SoundCloud. Yeah, man. Are there any other plugs that you want to make before you get on the decks?
You know what? I would like to maybe put a teaser out there on something that
All right.
we were working on.
What a hybrid Ravelution
I
collaboration.
don't know, something along the lines like that. You know, like I mean, we are making music and we are doing shows, and I've never ever played at a show that was anything that I could say that it was me or anything like that.
Yeah.
So maybe we could come up with something like that and put a really good hardstyle show together.
Oh
and,
shit.
And do something. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think so, bro. I definitely think so. With the passion that you bring to the scene and to everything you do, I think whatever, we have to come up with will be fucking fire.
All right. Well, with that being said, then I can start thinking about, maybe putting my own show together, or something like that, and coming up with a good lineup, and putting a good thing together, and maybe we could go from there. And
Fuck yeah, dude. Keep a fucking eye out for that, right? And don't forget to keep watching this fucking podcast with this dope-ass new production quality provided to us by Hi-Bryd, the fucking low-riding, hard-style playing fucking DJ.
weird.
Hell yeah, brother. Well, thank you so much for coming on the fucking podcast, bro. Thank you
for having me, man.
Thank you for letting us use your studio. Thank you for putting everything together the way that you have, bro. I'm really excited to get into the set so everybody can see all the fucking hard work that you put in, bro. All right,
I'm excited, man. I am excited.
let's get this dude on the decks.
All right, let's go.